Hello, this is Eric of Not Baus, and welcome to my non-sponsored, fully paid for by me, I still don't have a sponsor, nor did I apply for a sponsor, review of Vessi shoes. You're going to get the most honest, upfront opinion of these shoes and who they are for, and if they're right for you. Unlike a sponsor review where they say, well, it's only a minor. No, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to put it up front so you know if these are the shoes to get or not. Now let's get started. So I've used my Vessi shoes now for about 50 hours. So they held up pretty decent. I can see a little bit of wear right here. There's a softer tread here and a more firm tread here. The shoes themselves all go by standard inches, be it 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and so on. So there is no 10.5. So if your foot, like mine, measures at 9.5, you have to get a 10-inch shoe. Generally, most shoes will actually be smaller than the Vessi shoe in terms of actual shoe size. So you might wear a size 9 or 9.5 like I do, but you'll have to get it in size 10. And for your shoe sizing, here's your information. Is the men's everyday all black shoes. Now, one thing to know about this shoe as well, it actually fits people with wider feet. In my case, I have to use New Balance and Adidas shoes specifically because my feet are wide, so no problem there. Keep in mind they're unisex, but the men's sizes are wider with bigger opening. So if you have wide feet and you're a female, that might not fit nicely like mine do, but it does stretch the material, so it actually fits nicely. For a men's size, and well, it is wide, so that's awesome. You might also wonder about fit. Well, if you notice, the shoe right here has a lot of stretchiness to this. So this fits really like a slipper. So it's not going to have that tight feeling on top like it may with a regular tongue shoe. And it's not going to feel, it's going to feel more like a slipper, of course. And this is going to tighten here to your foot. One thing to note though, is this foam, if you can see it here, see the fingers on it? Watch it squish in. There is some size to this. It's not like your standard thin material. There is some sort of squishable foam that's like 1 millimeter thick, and that affects the shoe. So anyone that tells you there's no difference between the regular sneaker and this shoe, they're not being fully honest. The shoe itself, the tag right here, tells me I believe it was made in Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see what it shows for details. Oh, funny. The shoe itself was this 9.5, but I'm not sure we could see it there. So it says here, M10 for US, UK 9.5, Europe centimeters, 28.5 centimeters. I didn't realize that part. I'm not sure if you can see it here. These shoes are made in Taiwan. And the insoles, they do come out. So this is your insole itself. So it's squishy, but it does have some support. It doesn't have too much of an arch at all whatsoever, but I don't have a problem with arch support on these shoes at all. So that's actually a good thing. And those that need good arch support, this is good to know that they're actually introducing a new Vessi insole for the weekend sneaker. The material inside it, let's see what we can see here. It's fairly firm inside. It has slight padding, but not overly much. Of course, this middle part here, this gives you more of your squishiness and more of your padding. And upper here, where this firm rubber is, this is firm rubber, there's softer rubber on top to actually give it a little bit of softness. So versus a standard sneaker, this is just as comfortable, so that's good. And it feels more like a slipper than a shoe, if that's your kind of thing. And for most people, that shouldn't be a problem. It all depends on what you like. Maybe you want it feeling really secure to your foot because you do lots of running. This I'd call more of a walking shoe than necessarily a running shoe itself. So just so we see, this is my Vessi shoe. Okay, now, what else do we want to know? We want to know, is it truly waterproof? Can it stand water? So I'm going to sit this in the tub here. I'm going to get my other camera. right here, and let's find that out. Okay, so let's see how these hold up. Can roll forward. Let's push them in a bit. That's gonna be more than 5 seconds. That's not a problem. Extra testing never hurt anyone, except for the company if their shoe doesn't live up to their promise. Okay, let's go closer. Let's go closer. And I'm gonna push this down. Let's get the shoe right in there. So we can see we're getting them in there. And the water seems to bead off nicely, so that's always good. And that's one of the aspects of the Vessi shoe, is waterproof. So my feet are in the Vessi shoes. Let's see how this turns out. Take them out. And step on some dry floor side. Any smudges? Nope, my feet are completely dry. Now, what would happen if my feet weren't completely dry? Well, I'm going to step in this water here. Now watch what happens. So, the shoe definitely was waterproof. I got tired of wearing these at work inside because if you have sweaty feet like I do, your feet are going to suffer. It's almost like wearing leather shoes, not quite as bad though. It's like a cross between wearing fabric and leather, so you are going to get sweaty feet if you have sweaty feet already. So it's going to be pretty bad if you have sweaty feet. And if leather's bad, these will be a bit better, but honestly not a whole lot. Between fabric and leather, it's more towards the leather. Because you're not going to have, think about this here, a millimeter of foam. It's going to be insulating. Whether you like it or not, it's going to be insulating. So for outside, it makes a lot of sense. Especially if you have a bit cooler weather, raining. In fact, these make a great rain shoe. As you can see, the water didn't even penetrate through these at all. So that's a good sign, especially after 50 hours of wearing this. Apparently these are machine washable, according to Vessi. And a lot of the different hydrophobic materials you can actually run through the washing machine. But a dryer, that could be a definitely different story, because most hydrophobic materials will melt or dissolve in heat, and dryer sheets can also damage the coating as well. So you may wonder, are they washable? Well, luckily Vessi has on their FAQs to remove the insoles first and the laces. So that's pretty cool. And you can wash them in cold water under gentle cycle. Nice. They recommend a mesh bag as well. I can see why. Some washing machines don't take kindly to, well, rubber in the washing machine itself. Do not place them in dryer, just as I feared would be the case, and let them dry overnight with, well, regular heat, not a dryer. Because what if you have a latex allergy? Well, it says they might not be the right shoe for you if they're latex, if you're allergic to that. So that is nice. You don't want to get them soaked in chlorinated or salt water for very long. So is that the chemicals in the water might actually damage the material, the membrane. So it might not be waterproof anymore if you get chlorine or salt water on them. So you might wonder, how do these shoes sound when they're wet? Well, when they're wet, prepare for the squeaks to sound like you are on a basketball court. Mind you, when it's solid floor when they're dry, they do sound like basketball shoes. You'll hear that squeaking a bit, but not severe like when they're wet. So now for the ultimate question. Does a Vessi shoe leave marks on a white surface? Maybe use it for work. Okay. My assistant here, rub the shoe across the table. Okay, let's try again. Give it some force. So no worries, it won't mark up your white floor. I used them at work and the floor is white. So you might wonder, how is the experience with Vessi shoes? Okay, so we ordered, it confirmed. It confirmed the tracking for that's being shipped out. Then it has your shipment is out for delivery and that it has been delivered. So that is actually quite well and good. So now you might wonder, are they going to send me a bunch of junk mail? Well, if you don't unsubscribe, this is what happened. 19th of August, 19th of August, 25th of August, 26th of August, 27th of August, September 2nd, September 3rd, and today is September 6th. That is 8 emails. Wow, in less than a month. A bit excessive for sure. Luckily, you can unsubscribe, but I wanted to show you how many emails you'd get if you don't unsubscribe from their email list. And luckily, if I want to go down here, I can unsubscribe from their emails. How about dry or wet inside after your feet are sweaty? It does take a time to dry. Water will get absorbed a bit into the foam. So if anyone tells you otherwise, they're not being fully truthful. It does take a bit of time to dry. Having something blowing air would be helpful, of course, or a dry environment. I live in a wet environment, so a shoe like this in a place that rains a lot makes a lot of sense. So at work, when I step in puddles, which occurs all the time, and after part of my job is outside, this actually is a good shoe to use. And one nice feature about this company is at least they donate to help others, but let's get away from that for the moment. And this part of the shoe will wear a little faster. It's softer rubber on this part, while the firm rubber is holding up nicely. If you hate shoes that squeak when a bit wet, remember you're going to face that. But once they're dry, it won't be such an issue. I hope you found out what you're looking for and I answered all your questions. Thank you for watching and have yourselves a wonderful day.
This is not BIOS, tech and hardware.